Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Exploratorium Berlin. A warm welcome to all of you. It's such a great pleasure to see so many people here tonight. It's always a really special moment to begin our upcoming symposium in a room filled with curiosity and attentiveness and shared anticipation is truly wonderful. This already carries something of what will accompany us over the coming hours and days: improvisation and resonance. My name is Mathias Maschat, and here at Exploratorium I have the pleasure of curating the concert series, and at the same time I also set up the discourse program dealing with theoretical questions around the topic of improvisation, and tonight both come together. In our sounded lecture series, we always present a concert in combination with an artist talk. And I am very happy to welcome Charlotte Hook and Lê Quan Ninh for this occasion. It has been 2 years since Charlotte was here at Exploratorium the last time for a talk about her work already. And back then, I told her about the idea of the symposium, and she told me about her fascination with resonance, and that the concept of resonance is one of her most important influences, at least recently, but maybe even before. She spoke about Hartmut Rosa's ideas, about the notion of radical presence, about unavailability, and about the significance of relating to each other and the world. And so Charlotte and I were very much resonating in that moment, and it quickly became clear that she should definitely be the one to open the symposium. And later we were talking on the phone and wondering who might join her for this occasion. And all of a sudden, Ninh popped up in our conversation, and in that very moment we both immediately knew that he would be the perfect resonant counterpart. And so here we are with sound lecture number 27, Charlotte Hook, Lê Quan Ninh, and we called it Resonances. Improvisation and resonance are both words that carry movement, openness, and relation within them. They point to listening, responding, risking to what is not yet fixed, and to the question of how we come into contact with one another and with the world. And this symposium aims to open a space for thinking, experiencing, and encountering along these lines. And tonight is the first sound, the first gesture, the first vibration of this shared resonant space. We will begin with the performance, followed by the artist talk, and in between there will be a short break, during which you can get a drink outside in our restaurant Mokia, and you can also bring the drink here during the talk, of course. I guess that you have all switched off your mobile phones already. If not, this is the moment to do so. And then it's also the moment to enjoy and to welcome Charlotte Hook and Lê Quan Ninh. So welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much, first of all, once again, Charlotte Hoek and Lê Quan Ninh. In the meantime, I have heard quite a few performances of you, and yeah, I can say it's always very special for me to hear you and to experience your playing and your music. Yeah, it's great that you came for the opening of this symposium. That's really amazing. Thanks a lot again.
Thank you.
There's so much to say about you, but I thought maybe we just go in the process. You are both, since many years, part of the improvised music scene, traveling internationally. You have played worldwide, and there are not so many people that you didn't meet in the scene and with whom you didn't play. I will not go into all the details now. Maybe I can just say Charlotte Hoek won the Swiss Music Prize last year. That's really a big thing, I think. Congratulations for this, Charlotte. And yeah, I know Ninh also for quite a while, not only for his playing, but he's also a really good writer and author about improvised music. When I wrote about the performativity of improvisation, I also was reading his writings, which were online back then. But for example, there has also been the Improviser librement, abécédaire d'une expérience. And now there's the final ultimate edition. Ninh said that he is not going to change this anymore because it's an everlasting, ongoing process. But now it's here, the negative way, in both languages, La Voix Négative. I think there are 3 books here for sale. And it's really worth reading because it's so dense and so precise. And it's an ABC there going through a lot of different notions and concepts and everything. So, and from Charlotte, I only brought this CD. It's her 4th solo CD, and it's called In Resonance with Elsewhere. So this also fit the topic quite well, I think. So maybe I start with you, Charlotte. I already pointed out that resonance is absolutely essential for you as a person and also as an artist and as an improvising artist especially. And you also said that when you discovered the theory of resonance, this has helped you understand many things better in your artistic work too. So could you maybe tell us a little bit how you discovered the concept, the theory of resonance, and how it came that you made it something essential to your work and to your thinking? So,
yeah, 2016, when I read the book Resonanz, a sociology of our relationship to the world, I found like it was like a very positive shock, because I felt I'm a transdisciplinary artist between music and visual art, and the space in between people, between nature and people and continents and cultures. So this space in between was very important for me. And then I read thoughts like resonance can only happen in a space between a subject and a counterpart who is expressing their own voice. And then, yeah, exactly. It's about these voices, to hear these voices and to create a space in between. Resonance is always between people, and this connecting, this relationship, and to listen to the others and to answer with your own voice. And I think in our days it's more important than ever to really develop this own voice. And at the same time, it's more important than ever to be receptive and to be touched, and that one is in contact with people and really reunites and get the essence, and also to connect with nature, and that the nature is not mute, but that the nature starts to speak. And I think in improvisation and music we have this wonderful medium and possibility and necessity to connect. And when I play for people, I play with people. I want to connect with humans and with non-humans, and I think this is an essential thing I took out of this. And yeah, resonance is not an emotional state, but a mode of relating, this strong notion of relating. I think that's an essence of my work and my art and my way of being, and in this way I found thoughts which really resonated and influenced my work a lot. This is this fantastic word, Anverwandlung. When you get in relationship with somebody, you get touched, you answer with your voice, but you are in a way of transforming, this Anverwandlung. You get together in a very special and very essential way, and then you will be transformed. You will transform, and this word Anverwandlung, or the adaptive transformation, this is crucial. And transformation is energy and is something which is in the core, is the kind of a nucleus of my art as well, and my teaching and my being. Yeah.
And then you also said when you talk about resonance, that it is interesting to talk about basically everything which is resonating for you in an setting of improvised music. So could you maybe explain which relations there are while improvising, and which ones do you consider as potentially resonant?
Yes, but I would like to start maybe at the obvious level. I use different instruments, and those instruments obviously have different kind of resonances. Some are very dry, and some are very long. And so when you play the percussion instruments of different kind, you can feel what it does in the space. You know, the cymbal will resonate if you don't mute it. It resonates longer than a piece of wood. So immediately you have this feeling of playing and experiencing different kind of resonances belonging to the same world of instruments. But at some point, I still enjoy. I mean, it's like a sort of solfège, you know, the low level of playing is to enjoy, to mute, for instance, or to leave it vibrating, and to have different kind of resonances. And if I want my drum being very dry, then I mute the drum head, for instance. But if I want to make it more resonating, of course I will leave it. And so it's this part. It's a very childish, enjoyable level. But at some point, you feel that all those resonances, I mean the instrumental resonances, have consequences in the space, and so you discover that more and more it's not what you do but what it does when you do something. I mean, I hit my cymbal, but it's not like, oh, I hit my cymbal and it's just resonating. It does something in the space, and by the space you feel a feedback. And little by little you feel fed by all this feedback. So first it's of course an acoustic feedback, I would say, and at some point it becomes a much more mysterious. It's more metaphoric, and then you discover that acoustically first, I mean the sound makes movement, makes different. There are reflections or something like that. Sometimes it's right, but it makes something also on you. You know, recently I was at IRCAM and they have this anechoic chamber, and I went many times in this anechoic chamber. So it's a chamber supposed to be extremely dry, but I mean this dryness resonates on you. So you know it's not an acoustic resonance, but it does something. It's so dry you can speak, and it seems that your words go directly to your socks, and so it makes something. And when you feel that, when you experience what for instance the sounds and the movement of the sound do because it's a lot of them, then you I mean. It's my experience. It's a very subjective experience. Then you can feel that it's not only about the air or the vibration in the air. It's like a flesh, and you feel the relationship not only with people, not only with people or even with your colleagues, but with everything. It's an environment. So at some point, improvising, it's not reacting, it's not responding. It starts from that, but at some point, it's more belonging and participating to the environment. Environment, of course, has different aspects. It could be an acoustic environment. It could be just a social environment. It could be a light environment. It's everything, and it's so wide that it's almost. It's very difficult to explain, because it's addition of all these environments, and we have to deal with them and to be playful with them, and the environment becomes playful. Yeah. So it's like, and especially in improvisation, because we really don't know how we are going to start. I mean, there are a lot of kind of improvisation. So, I mean, the way I do it, it's like I don't know how to start. Even it took me maybe 20 years to get rid of the thought in my mind saying, you should start that way. I say, what? And there was the other voice, what? What? I mean, shut the fuck up. No, you should start that way. And it took me 20 years to get rid of that. And then when it starts, I don't know what is going to happen, and I don't know how to start, and I just, and it's already to be aware of the resonance, which is to be confident on what happens. It's not on what is going to happen, but what happens. Okay, and a few minutes before we went on stage, and there was all this little cracking on the chairs and people chatting. This is already the environment. So it could be the concert, you know. To don't feel obliged to do anything, because everything is already there. So to participate is just to slide from this perception to an action, which is also a perception. So it's constantly circulating like that, and this is for me the resonance. Yeah.
Charlotte, I guess this is resonating with you, what Nin just said. We were talking about also this third thing which is coming in, and where, as you said, at a certain point, something is adding up to the situation, where something is happening, where it is happening, and we were talking about your experiences with this yesterday also, and before. Could you maybe outline?
Yeah,
some thoughts on this.
This communication, this curiosity of who are the players. I mean, it's in this space in between, when we heard you murmuring, all these, there are so many voices, and to listen to them and to answer to them and to be touched by them and to tune in and to really, I think, to devote and to be in total contact with this, what we hear, what we sense, and beyond. There is something beyond. There is a magic. Resonance is maybe, if it happens, it might go in the direction of magic. It's an uplifting. It's a very touching experience, and it's so difficult to talk about, and it's unavailable. We don't know, and sometimes it took you 20 years, and I still sometimes I'm curious. I'm super curious, and at the same time it's also you have to endure that you don't know, but still, it's daily practice. It's an attitude. It's and what interests me also to really your instrument, my instrument, every day, to get in contact with the instrument, to get in contact with the voice and the instrument. They speak each other, and they don't have always the same opinion. You might have heard that. So this is interesting, and this gives something new. This gives something in between, a hybrid or something else. And when I do the drawings, this gives another voice, and not adding, but telling in that space of, in that very vivid space of encounters, of relationships. And then I draw with both hands, and the left hand sometimes has a really other opinion than the right hand, and they do the lines, and it's always this conversation and this relationship and these multiple relationships, and this is something which I appreciate very, very much. And I just mentioned some, and there is much more. And this awareness of, and this practice to hear these voices and to be in contact and to answer to these multiple voices. And humans are multisensual beings, and with the senses, but with more senses. And then I think the resonance can be happen and can be something which is really, really difficult to name, but there is practice. There is, yeah.
You were mentioning the paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they actually? It disappeared. Just like the sound disappeared.
Exactly.
You also work with real paint,
Yes.
with colors. The sun icons have been your artistic work, and they are scores. You use them as scores also. And these are temporary sun icons, so they are scores for a certain time, they disappear, and they change all the time. And so this is also another layer which is coming to the improvisation. Can you maybe use this example and tell us a little bit how you feel, how the interaction has been going on between the two of you, and what the paintings changed in your playing, maybe? I mean, this is maybe a little bit hypothetical, you never know exactly, but maybe you have an idea about it.
In a way, painting or playing music doesn't matter. It's I mean, the way I feel it is like I can perceive movement and different velocities, and someone who is painting in a way is making music because it's made of different velocities and different durations, different accents. So it's not like painting is making music, but you can feel it as belonging to the phenomenon in presence. So it's also when you are with dancers, I learned a lot from the dancers, especially about space, of course, but about the music itself. I mean, about the different speeds, the different velocities, what difference between stillness and silences, and it's absolutely about the presence. And some people vibrate so much, even doing absolutely nothing, and some people not. I mean, they are more like they have to, in a way, to move to make all this energy felt by the others. And so this is different quality of presences. So in a way, we deal with physical phenomena. Some are moving in space or being still in the space, but they, in a way, they make the space. They reveal the space by their presence, and some use colors or water, and some sounds and silences. But they are in a way very. They belong to the physical phenomena. I'm sorry to say, but I am at that level, which is very primitive, and I know, and it's not a joke, that I'm totally stupid. For me, it's only about feeling all these phenomena, and it's very difficult even to think about it. despite I was in a way forced to write, and the result is that book. But it was more like, okay, there is such a confusion in my mind because there are so many things at once, and we have to deal with all these things, and to try to isolate one aspect is it's not so easy, and also if you do that, you go far from the experience. In a way, you fail. And writing, for instance, it's really failing about expressing the subtleties, the speed, the velocity of the experience, and especially in improvisation, you can be so right at that moment and totally wrong at the next moment. Sometimes you have to be extremely fast and sometimes extremely slow, and so it goes so fast that there is no even space in your mind to think. So it's more like following the flow, and at the same time the flow exists because you are following it. So it's difficult to isolate, the parameters. And I don't know if it's necessary, actually. From my point of view, it's not necessary, because the thing is that all these phenomena are playful. And so it's like to remain a child and to discover constantly that you can go that way or that way, but more than that the circumstances leads you to go that way and the other way, and at some point there is no you can't you are not different from the circumstances. You are totally a part of the circumstances, and so for me it's exactly mirroring the circumstances. Also, there is I like this, coming from the cognitive science. The neurons mirror. I think we experience that in improvising. I mean, also playing another kind of music, even written music. We have to connect at some point, which is very mysterious. And we know now that there is this neurons mirror, that the brains, in a way they tune together, which is fantastic. And as improvisers, especially free improvisers, we totally feel that. And it's nice that now we have words to name that. But also it's beautiful, this mirror. I mean, in my imagination, the mirror is not only a surface, it's also something that you can go through it, like in Jean Cocteau movies, for instance. It's like that. So it's really also, I mean, what I say is like all this resonance with the circumstances built in a sort of imagination also. So maybe it's not science. It's really much more primitive than that, but that primitive way is enough to play, and there are already a lot of to deal with this very primitive level, and it's endless, and it's changing constantly, and the thing is to be confident on those changes. It will change anyway, so it's not necessary to push the change.
Of course, you're completely right that there's no point in separating the different parameters from each other, and that is essential to really see this holistic situation, and that everything is connected in a way, and it's all feeding into the whole situation, and both ways, I would say. Still, I think it's really interesting that there's the body, which is moving, and that there's the material with which the body is operating. And I think this is really very interesting in the both ways of playing of you. The way that you are interacting with the vibrations. This is a resonant relationship, I feel. And also when you are painting and singing at the same time, I'm also wondering which is coming first, or I mean, is the voice triggering the movement, or is the moving, or maybe it's not both of them, it's something which is connected anyway. So how do you feel about when you sing and paint at the same time? And
yeah, I would like to connect with, I will come back to that as well, but that's already a question which I ask myself very often. Movement and constant change. So when I do the drawings, the body is very important. I'm not a dancer, but I'm a drawer. And the body is so musical. I mean, during our whole life, the body experienced in parallel, in the consciousness, so many sounds, so many emotions connected with sounds, so many ways of making music, hearing, listening to music. And this knowledge of the body, of the impulses of the gestures, the fantasy of the body. And I'm really interested in gestures, in impulses, and how the body kind of does the drawing, these gestures, and the gestures, they have a dramaturgy which I don't know before. And these gestures, this is telling me something. It's another voice which is not accessible for me normally, but with the drawings, with the gestures, it's another medium talking to me. The medium is the message, and different mediums. Of course, it's this holistic being and improvising and creating. I'm totally in that, but I'm also interested in the different voices. And the body is definitely the gestures, the body, the impulses, the intelligence of the body, the meaning making of the body, which is sometimes a surprising meaning making, that what I think. And I'm interested in also in these spaces in between. What does the body, and the gestures are very interesting also, because the body has these musical gestures which are highly specific and highly connected with the music I create. And then there is the imaginative gestures of music, but it's a free gesture. And I'm really interested in this free gesture, this free energy, these let's say non-instrumental gestures, which tells me a lot, and which I then respond with the voice, with then let's make music out of that free gestures, of that free timing. And the song icons that I see the gestures and the dramaturgy and the articulation of the movements, that gives me another. The eye makes other decisions than the ear, than the body, and that is also the space in between, that we have these different voices which sometimes fight, which sometimes it's a counterpart. We have different counterparts and they have their own voices, and then there is a third thing happens, and I'm very curious about that. And the son icons, I have different son icons, and I brought the temporary son icons with water on this Chinese tissue, fabric, because I wanted to offer intermodal setting where the eye is also integrated, the gestures, the body in another way, and also the disappearing act, this constant renewal. And this is like in music, and we are radical in the present. We are now, but at the same time, when we start the concert, even before, when we listen to all the murmuring around, this is in time, and we have a memory, and that influences ourselves. And to kind of draw energies which are visible, which are in constant change, like our memory, and this is also the notion of time and energy in time and dramaturgy in time, is a very important there is simultaneous different timings which are there at the same time, and this concentration of these different timings, I like that. That inspires me a lot, and this is also in resonance with, it's not just a moment, but these different voices of past, recent past, possible future. It goes further than just a moment. And the song icons are a visualization of music, and you can look at it. And the artwork I do is also with both hands, but on both sides. So it's really this, they're on half transparent paper, and you can imagine it's like a skin. And I think the skin is also important for me, for the resonance. So it's the outside, the influence from outside and from inside, and a third thing happens. Yeah.
Yeah, you were mentioning time, and this brings me. I had the association that I could use this as a keyword, maybe. So, in Hartmut Rosa's thinking, there's also the notion of mediopassivität. So this is the state between being active and passive at the same time. Receiving information and not wanting to control the situation completely, but reacting to it in a positive way, you know. And obviously, this is the state that we are in improvisation all the time. So I think it's fitting really well. And I also found a very nice part in your book about this, actually. The fluctuations in the constantly shifting balance between playing and listening, between action and contemplation, observation of the consequences of this equilibrium creates slight fluctuations in the playing itself. So here also you describe pretty well, I think, this state. And you're also talking about playing, getting in the flow. And how would you say is this state of flow, the state of mediopassivity related to, what is my question? It's essential in playing, and could you describe how you use it, or how?
Well, I'm pretty sure that this feeling that I have for a long time is really coming from alienation. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. You know, I say. I mean, I would like to say that I'm not confident. No. I don't trust what I say. Meaning that all what I say, all what I feel is conditioned. Conditionment. How do you say that in English? It's not bad. It's just, you know, we are conditioned because I was born that day, not this one, and that place with these parents and this family and etc. etc. So what is the part of my free will, and what is the part of being slave of the conditions? So I always felt that when I start to play, I just slide from where I was to a certain flow. But I don't know what it is. And I'm even a little bit, this feeling is even suspicious to me, because it's like, okay, where this feeling comes from? Is it coming from, a sort of spiritual atmosphere that I grabbed at some point, despite having, thanks to my parents, but I didn't have any religious education. But this, okay, it's related to, something bigger or something. Maybe someone would have called this God, So it's like I join God, meaning the cosmos. So, this is okay. But at the same time, where this feeling comes from? But as soon as I start, I just participate. It's really like that. It's not doing something. It's really participating, and at the same time to have a very strong feeling that I don't own anything. I just participate. So what I do is not my music. It's my music at SACEM. But it's absolutely not my music in my mind, and the way I feel it. So I don't own, I don't grab the instant. It's just, it goes that way, and I have to follow it. And to participate means that I'm not submitted to it. It's not to be the slave of the moment. It's just to be a part of it. And what it is, but I don't know. It's just about dealing with what I say, dealing with very obvious phenomena. Phenomenon is, of course, acoustic phenomena. It's also touching. It's also receiving a vibration. It's also having a touch, a haptic feedback, and many things. To see things, to have a perception of the space. The sound space. Because we have two ears, if they work properly, and but also the light, and also the presence, some movement. So there are so many things happening, and this is what I call the flow. But maybe this is the wrong word. I say it's maybe the wrong word because I feel it a little bit suspicious, No, suspect, I would say, yeah. It's like, well, where it comes from, Is it because, I heard something about spiritual, I don't know. Well, it's really about conditions, like my mother was in a way Catholic, my father was Vietnamese and he was a Buddhist, but they didn't educate ourselves. We were 4 children in it, but maybe there was some atmosphere, and maybe they didn't want to transmit that, but there was something like that. So maybe this the flow is like maybe for my father it was more the cosmos, and for my mother it was God. Who knows? That's why that okay, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. Funny but dangerous.
Charlotte, you called your CD in resonance with elsewhere. What is elsewhere?
Yeah, on the CD I have some pieces which are kind of like archetypes for me from maybe elsewhere. There are deep connections with the tides, for example, with the nature, a total devotion. I start with my intention, with my curiosity, with my joy, but then it goes elsewhere, and it doesn't have to be God immediately, but just I devoted myself to stand on a slipway in the Atlantic, and I just wanted to play on a very cheap Irish fiddle, and the tide went up, and I allowed myself to be overflooded, and the flood come until my neck, and the fiddle got wet, and I discovered the wet bow, and it's again the voice, the strong voice of the tides, which is such a strong force, and which is something I cannot understand, but I can feel it with my body, and again the body moved in a different way, and I felt this huge strength in resonance with elsewhere. I was really these 5 hours not always in resonance. I must say it was very cold, even if I had a neoprene costume. But again, resonance is sometimes it's there. It's like a relation. Sometimes it's not there. You're just tired and cold, and you know, this kind of, yeah. Sometimes you have, there is maybe a stream somewhere else. So with the tides, that was a very strong experience. And then before I finished this CD, I was 4 months in China, and I could really, I had the big chance to make music, or to be in relationship with different Chinese musician, also a shamanic musician, and just to be, I was very shy, and then I answered with my voice, and I had no idea if that was completely ridiculous, but this foreign, this contact with the foreign, with a field I absolutely don't know, and this was very, very strong that something happened, and just moments, and this transformed me a lot, and the contact with the very, very foreign is so inspiring for me sometimes, and also when we come to flow and association, if I'm kind of playing, and the association, to go from one to the other rhythm wise like this, but if a resonance happens with a very, very foreign counterpart, then Arthur Koestler talks about dissociation, not association, but dissociation. That really two very different ways of thinking, of living, of being, kind of come into contact. And if that happens, that's really also resonance with elsewhere. And then I had a third archetype when I had a residency in Umbria from Civitella Ranieri, and we were 16 artists, interdisciplinary artists from all over the world. And in the night we talked about many things in English, and then in the castle I heard Amharic, I heard Korean, I heard Chinese, Venetian, Italian, their dialect, many voices and languages. And then I asked the people, the artists, can I offer you a setting? And I'm very interested in settings which might go in resonance with elsewhere. So I told them, you know, you can choose your favorite place in the castle, and I will have a mic, and you can just sing, talk, improvise, whatever you want. Be in contact, in relation with somebody who left that planet. And that you have, I'm very interested in also I offered them to have a sheet on top of their head, so they have their inner space, but they're acoustically still connected with the whole, with the acoustically. And I was just the guardian, that they had their half an hour to be in contact with this person lefting the planet. And then I asked them, that was I announced that if I can listen to it and make maybe a piece out of it. And then I didn't understand the language, most of it, but there was like a universal rhythm, maybe. People were talking and singing, and then always, in all the contribution, there was a silence. And then again, they had the impulse to sing, to talk, and silence. And this was touching me deeply, because everybody did it, and we didn't talk about. And maybe really this, if one wants to communicate with somebody who left the planet, that this resonance, this being receptive, answering with your own voice or asking with your own voice, that people were very, very touched. And I was very, very touched about the huge gift that I could listen to these many experiences of sometimes resonance, sometimes contact with elsewhere. Yeah, in resonance with elsewhere can be with the tides, very kind of with nature, but also and with yourself, with your body and with your intellect and body, and maybe the fourth resonance axis Hartmut Rosa mentioned, but also with elsewhere. I think there is so much, and how you name it, I don't know, but I was very touched.
Is there anyone who also has a question for Charlotte and Ninh apart from me? It's a bit late already, and we continue tomorrow. And maybe we can take 3 questions or something like that.
It's not so much a question. It's a question, but maybe you don't have to answer, but I want to share anyhow, because I have a feeling or assumption that exactly this, what you described as mirror neurons connecting to each other, is that space which connects to this elsewhere. What would you say about it?
Oh, wow.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Sorry to put you on the plate.
Next question.
It was a good question.
It's a very good question. And it's impossible for me to answer, I must say. Neuroscience, it's, I don't know if it's neuroscience, it's it is mirroring. I think it's, in this case I described, it's a lot of receiving and speaking with your voice and asking, and this dialogue and this being silent and receiving, even if you don't know. The mirror. I have the feeling this is more like when we are together. It's immediate, and if it's even, it's out of my experience, I must say, in this large sense. What do you think?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, it's too complicated suddenly.
Okay, so who has an easy question?
Please.
Yeah, thank you so much for this performance and the talk. My question is very profane, like down to earth. I was thinking when I listened to you, you were very, very together a lot of times, and maybe this mirror neurons and the idea of resonance in improvised music. Is it possible that this leads to a sort of being in the same zone? Or can resonance also allow being in different zones? Because today maybe I felt more the similar zones that you had chosen. Maybe it was because of the idea we want to resonate. And maybe it is. maybe two forks resonant when they are close, and I don't know if it's about physics, but actually I'm very much interested in improvised music also about this other thing, and my question is does it work together with resonance, or is maybe resonance the same, being more in the same zone?
Well, it depends. Maybe if we would play now, it would be completely different. To me, to improvise is absolutely not to compose. It's to not make any choice. There is no choice. There is only one way. And sometimes the way is to be very, very similar in a way, and sometimes to have no choice, it's just to coexist. And to coexist is nice when it's if we are two people and we just coexist, it works because we don't make any obstruction to the other, and it's like to be in the same house. I mean, if you live with someone in the apartment or the house, I mean, someone could be reading a book and the other is cooking, and these people coexist in the same house. And
do they resonate?
Because it's the house which is the resonance. You know, it's to inhabit the same home, the same house, and we can do things completely different. And they coexist really beautifully because they don't hurt each other. You know, they don't prevent the other to do the action or to do the contemplation anyway. And sometimes it could be it's like that. I mean, it depends. Sometimes you can have plans. I try from my practice. I don't have any. So as I said, it took me 20 years to get rid of the plans, and then to discover what happened. And sometimes we are in a way very similar, because also it's very playful to be very similar with two different instruments. And sometimes it's maybe more open in a way. There is more what Cage said, that there is nothing, there is enough nothing in it. And when there is enough nothing in it, wow, it can interpret, it can exist, and there is this obviousness of the presence. Sometimes it's like that, and sometimes not. Sometimes it's more like two fish, in a river, and they follow each other like that. So it's really because of the circumstances, and also because we have to remember that to improvise is a very fragile practice. We can fail a lot, meaning that, okay, we lose the contact with the phenomenons, we lose the contact with the resonance. It's so easy to lose the contact, and that's why we have to prepare ourselves to play in order to convoke this contact. And this contact is so fragile, and sometimes we oscillate between being extremely coexisting and also using techniques in order to maybe to save ourselves from the failure. And I remember having heard an interview about a jazz musician, a French pianist who passed away a long time ago now. What is his name now? Names. Yeah. When you get older, names they just don't pop up. Anyway, and he said something very nice. I mean, for me it was very nice to hear this guy coming really from the jazz scene. I mean, playing with all the harmonics and things like that. And he said something very similar that what we could say as free improvisers. Free, we have to maybe to give the definition of freedom anyway. And this is another story. And the guy said, yeah, we have to fight against, and he said a word, not a nice one, to against the whore, the prostitute. And for him, the prostitute was, making techniques just to, to show off. But sometimes it's nice not to do that, but to use special tricks and then to lean on it and to jump to the unknown in a way, or to the real instant. So we oscillate between being completely moved by the circumstances and also to use solfège, because we make music anyway. So we have also to deal with an instrument, to deal with different materials, different thickness, different colors, different rhythms, if they are rhythms, events in time. And we have to, so we oscillate between using it, which is very groundy, and to go, what you said, like beyond. And so it's not something that, this beyond is not something that we reach and we stay constantly floating in the air. It's it's like that, It's more like flying, and the instant after you are very deep in the earth. It's like that, and you are exploring caves, and something poof, and now you are in the space. It's very moving. And that's why it's very playful and joyful to do it, and in a way, if you do it that way, you never get bored, despite your limits. Yeah. I don't know if I answered your question also.
To your question, I was very, very interested in you as a counterpart, and also I'm always interested in a counterpart, in your own voice, my voice, and sometimes your voice and my voice, they just give like a hybrid sound. They give, and sometimes I felt also here, even if I felt like it's a contrast, and a contrast can be even more together than what is together. What is, I think if one is in contact in a relationship, if one is really, then one can really go opposite, and still I'm actually also very interested that you heard this, if I understand right, that it was kind of harmonious in a way. Do I understand all right?
Yeah, but you have to give the definition of harmony.
Yeah. Kind of. What was your word? What was your word?
I think I said in the same zone.
In the same zone.
Yeah,
yes, in the same zone.
Zone is
zone is
it's
that's
correct, because
that's,
zone is more space. It's more
I was
spacey
searching
than,
your word. Yeah, that's the thing. In the same zone, many things can happen. Also contrasts.
That's true.
Absolutely. And all the facets in between, all the tones between, the gray tones in between.
So I hope for the symposium that we will also be in this zone.
Yes.
In the next 2 days. I think many of you will also be
in the zone.
there.
It's a Britney Spears.
Yeah, is it? Okay. I didn't know that. Maybe we should
One,
use it as a jingle tomorrow in the morning to welcome everybody. It was absolutely beautiful to have you here and to see how you are connecting in music and also in the conversation. Thank you so much, Charlotte, Hoek, and Lê Quan Ninh for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mathias.
Thank you all for coming and for your interest and attentiveness tonight. See you in the next days, hopefully, and till next time.